Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Okay guys, today we're going to be going over The Oval Season 2 episode number 12 called Misunderstood. And if they're talking about creepy Jason is being misunderstood, then they need to really go somewhere with that, okay? Anyway, so the episode doesn't start off where we left off like they usually do, right? Where we left off last week was Kyle looking like he was going to smother Miss Laura to death with a pillow. So since they didn't mention it at all in this episode, we're just going to go ahead and have to assume that Miss Laura is dead, right? Until further notice, that is. Anyway, instead, the episode starts off with Don and Lilly at home. And before Don leaves for work, Lilly tells him that there's a story on the news about the president's mistress. And they're putting together a lot of questions about how the mistress died. Then Lilly asks Don if the president killed Denise. And Don tells her that the president definitely didn't kill her. He tells her that she should just leave it all alone, including what she thought she heard him and Kyle talk about. Then Don lets it be known that he doesn't like her line of questioning. So she says, listen, I came back for you and I just want to know what I'm into and how deep it goes. And Don says, well, as long as you're on my side, you've got nothing to worry about. Then he leaves for work. Then Lilly goes up to her room to call Bobby. She tells him that she started asking questions. So, of course, Bobby starts freaking out and tells Lilly that she needs to be careful with that and be more patient, too. After Lilly assures Bobby that she'll be okay, she lets him know that she misses him and she needs to see him. So Bobby tells her that, the security at her place is weak or lame or something like that. So he should be able to come over there. All right. Next, Max is still being a pain in the behind, right, guys, with his complaining about just sitting where they are. And when he told Bobby that he was going to leave, I was like, yes, good riddance, right? But Bobby had to stop him and tell him that he needed him. Then he shows Max that he has a few weapons, to make it worth his while. And Max even had to complain about that. Like, really, this whole time? Like, I'm just so over Max. He's just annoying. Next, Sam receives a call from Detective Jake, who just wants to confirm that Sam received the 911 calls he sent over. But when Sam checks it out, he sees that there's nothing on the attachment or recording. So Sam tells Jake to secure the server because there's definitely something going on, but it can't be discussed over the phone. So after they hang up, Priscilla comes into the kitchen and she is still giving Sam the cold shoulder. She tells him that she knows something is going on, and Sam says, Priscilla, I'm not doing anything. And Priscilla says, just go to work. And all the while she had a knife in her hand and she warned Sam not to piss her off while she had it in her hand, okay? So Sam leaves, and guys, that was clearly the last straw for Sam because we know what happened later. But the way she spoke to Sam, it sounded like she was talking to a freaking kid, right? Now just go to work, Samuel, Anyway, next, Richard is getting ready for work also, and he's back to ignoring Nancy. So Barry is once again in the middle of it, and he says to Richard, Dad, how long are you going to ignore Mommy? And when Richard doesn't answer, Barry says to Nancy, Ma, can you just tell him who the father is, please? And guys, I honestly started cracking up. I'm not even joking, because I just can't believe that we hear this question every single week. Like, it's so played out that it just has me laughing to the point of disbelief. Like, seriously. But anyway, Richard says to Barry, she doesn't have to tell me because I figured it out. And Barry was like, for real? But Richard changed the subject and just wanted to know what time Barry was going to do the money exchange for Callie because he wants to be there. Then Richard leaves and Barry tells his mother again that she needs to tell Richard who Picky's father is. But Nancy seems like, she's taking her anger out on Barry because she throws a plate of food at him. I mean, there was a few words exchanged before that, like, Barry was like, oh, that was cold when his father left. And then Nancy was like, oh, where's Sharon? And then Barry was like, oh, I don't know and I don't care. And Nancy says, well, you're lying about that. And, so it was just some back and forth stuff. And I guess when he said, oh, Dad doesn't care about you or something to that effect. And so Nancy was like, you're being disrespectful. And he was like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you need to just tell him who the father is. And so she goes and throws a freaking plate at him. And I'm like, really? All that? You know? But anyway, she says, try me. After she threw the plate at Barry, she said, try me. You got one more time to disrespect me, right? And Barry was like, you need to save all that energy for Dad. So Nancy throws another plate at him. So this causes Barry to leave the table, but you could tell that he was trying to maintain his composure because he probably wanted to say a lot more, right? Anyway, Nancy just had the nerve to say that she's sick of all this mess, but she's the one who created the freaking mess. You know what I'm saying? Next, Bobby gets to Lily's house and she wants to jump his bones as soon as he gets there. And Bobby tried to deny her at first for whatever reason. Oh, because Kyle was in here. What the heck does that mean? Anyway, but Lily kept pressing and, he couldn't deny her. They just got right into it, no foreplay or nothing, which makes me think that Lily just wants Bobby for the sex, which is a shame because Bobby is in love with her. But I don't know, guys. I definitely think Lily likes Bobby, but I also think she likes his member a little better. Next, we get to a scene where Victoria shows that disgusting side of her that we all just can't stand, right? So she's trying to get involved with a school or something, with kids that's visible. And when her assistant or whatever she is tells her that she could arrange something with the Harriet Tubman School, which is all black, Victoria says that, that's an all black school in the ghetto. I don't want to be around no bad kids with rats and roaches crawling all over my good stuff. And I was so disgusted, guys, because she just sounded so ignorant and snobby. And not for nothing, if I closed my eyes and maybe if her voice was a little different, I would swear up and down that she was a racist white chick. And I'm not even trying to say anything against anybody white. I'm just saying she sounds hella racist. All right. Also, we knew it was bad when the assistant was like, you're kidding, right? Anyway, Victoria says, take me to a private school. Then she gives her assistant a short statement to release about her mother's death. Next, Diane goes to Priscilla's house and she tells her that she's going to meet with Donald at the White House later on. And Priscilla says, I don't like this at all, so be careful. So Diane pulls a huge envelope out of her bag and says, if something happens to me, I need you to give this to Sam. And y'all already know that this is even more uncomfortable for Priscilla because she's still dealing with Jean's death that the White House done covered up. So she knows Diane is in danger. Anyway, Diane says, Sam is a good man who will always do the right thing. So if you don't hear from me by 5, you need to give this to him. Next, creepy Jason finds his way back to Alan's office. He just won't leave this guy alone. He swears he has a friend. Anyway, he's still on this kill the president thing. And, even tells Alan that he knows where they keep all the weapons. But Alan just wants Jason to leave him alone, So creepy Jason tries to manipulate Alan a little by telling him that he can see how much Ellie hurt him. Then he says that he, meaning Hunter, he humiliated you. So Alan says again, just please go upstairs. Then Don walks in and was really surprised to see Jason there. So he asks him what he was doing there. And that was Jason's cue to leave. But I'm not sure what to make of all this, guys. This whole Jason and Alan connection. But there definitely is a reason for it. Okay, so that brings me to my next point where I have to shout out to one of my subs, Isaiah Hill, who theorizes that Alan might be the one to kill Hunter. And y'all already know that this would be a dream come true for me, okay, as far as this show goes. And that is one theory that makes a whole lot of sense. Because not only is the president smashing Alan's girl, he's rubbed it in his face, all right? And to add to that theory, it's a great possibility that Alan could assassinate Hunter without getting caught. All he needs to do is have creepy Jason lead him through all the hidden passageways and make sure that the room that he enters has no camera, which is anywhere in the residence. Anyway, thanks to Isaiah Hill for that theory, and I hope it comes true, okay? Fingers crossed up in here. Next, Hunter, Victoria, and Jason sit for a therapy session with Dr. Meadows, and Hunter and Victoria start arguing because, Hunter was being perverted as usual, looking at Dr. Meadows all lustfully and everything. Just doing his regular Hunter crap, okay? So Dr. Meadows tells them that none of what they're doing is helping. So Victoria says, "Oh, we're here to help. So tell us, how do we help this little murderer without putting him into an asylum?" So Dr. Meadows asks Jason how he feels about hearing his mother talk this way about him. And Jason starts going on about, "Oh, my mother, she hates me. She screams at me. She hits me." Then he goes on with this sob story about him not seeing his parents for a year and blah, blah, blah. And guys, who really freaking cares, okay? I don't care. I don't know about y'all, but I don't care, okay? He is a psycho and a murderer. All right. As far as I'm concerned, he's detached from his emotions and has no remorse. People like him, they can fake remorse to get what they want. So this whole backstory jive, like, I'm not into it. The thing that annoys me the most is that this creepy little freak has taken not one, not two, but 3 lives, okay? And 1 life is enough, right? But he's taken 3 lives. And they're over here putting him through therapy? Like, are you kidding me? They should have him committed for the psycho that he is, then get him some help while he's being confined, okay? Because this right here is just ridiculous. Like, enough already. Anyway, Victoria couldn't take being blamed for Jason's problems anymore, so she excuses herself from the meeting and tells Hunter to deal with it, And by the way, this stupid doctor over here talking about, "Oh, he's speaking from his heart." And Victoria's like, "He ain't got no heart, man. He kills people." And I was like, thank you, Victoria. Sheesh. Like, somebody got to address it. That's one thing. We could feel however we want to feel about Victoria, but a lot of times she says the things that we wish somebody would say, right? Because it's almost like certain things are overlooked or they're not being handled. And Victoria is the one that will always bring it back, like back to reality, folks. Okay. Okay. So the reality is that this kid is a psycho and he's killed people and he doesn't have a heart. So, I understand that as a doctor, she has to show empathy, right? Dr. Meadows. But they can't have him freely lurking about knowing that he's a danger to others. You know what I'm saying? It's just not fair. I don't care how famous or whatever your political status is or whatever. It's just not fair, Then Jason is going to have the nerve to say, "See, I told you, she never wants to take responsibility for anything." So I was like, creepy Negro, please. All right. That's really all he wants. He's trying to spin this whole freaking thing. He really has a problem. He's sick in the head. We know that, but still can't stand him. Next, Diane finally meets with Don and he tells her that he wants to offer her job back. Then he takes her into the Oval so she could confirm this with Hunter, right? So once Hunter confirms that he does want Diane back, Diane decides to ask a bunch of questions regarding the death of Denise and the incident with Agent Yuma and Max. So Hunter decides to really spill the beans, right? Almost as if he was high on like a truth serum. We know from a previous scene that he was high, right? But I don't know what the heck he was high on because the guy was going off, all right? But he tells Diane everything, and when Diane stupidly tells him that she's going to take this information to the FBI, Hunter tells her that he can't go to jail because he's the president. He even brings up some OLM memo, right, which states that a sitting president cannot be tried and convicted of a crime while in office. Now, we already know that Donald definitely has someone look that up for him because he is a freaking idiot. Anyway, Diane lets Hunter know that this is still America and she will show him exactly how much power the president has. And Hunter basically threatens her life and tells her that you're only an American as long as you're alive. So Diane leaves and Donald is pissed, okay, because dumb Hunter done ruined their plan to fix things. Unfortunately, because of this, Donald now has to call Killer Kyle so he can handle Diane. So now we see Diane making her way down the hall, and as she gets into an elevator, Kyle quickly jumps in as well. And when she tries to run out of the elevator, Kyle pulls her right the freak back in, okay? Now, at this point, guys, whatever Diane gets, she deserves, okay? I'm sorry. It's even though I hate Kyle and I hate the administration, Diane knew better than to go up in there trying to play big and bad, She knew that there was an agenda at hand, and from her talk with Bobby, she was supposed to go back to the White House so she could take them down from the inside, All right. Now she done messed it up for herself and everybody else that was a part of a plan because, she couldn't play it cool. It was just an idiot move, right? It was suicidal, actually. But it looks like Kyle will definitely torture her first before he kills her, if he kills her. And that would be so dumb if there are no cameras in the elevator, by the way, right? Anyway, next, Richard goes into the work kitchen to apologize to Frida, and he tells her that he just wants to have fun with her. But Frida wasn't trying to hear it, okay? She's like, I don't want to be a part of your drama. You love that woman, so you need to stop. And I'm really getting tired of Frida saying this, guys. You love that woman. You love that woman. Because to me, it sounds almost like she's trying to dismiss the fact that Nancy is Richard's wife. Yeah, obviously she knows that he's married, but it seems like she can't bring herself to say, you love your wife. So instead, she keeps saying, you love that woman. Almost as if there's something wrong with that woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That woman, it just seems derogatory at this point coming from her mouth. Anyway, Sam comes in and we're just going to cut to the chase, guys, okay? Richard asked Sam if he knew that Nancy was Picky's mother. And Sam was like, what? So Richard goes on to explain that while he and Sam were over in Iraq, Nancy got pregnant and didn't tell him. And if you look at Sam, guys, he's getting a little shifty, right? I'm sure you guys noticed that. Like, he's uncomfortable. Then Richard says, you went home for 1 month for your father's funeral. So did you see her with anyone? And Sam says, no, still looking a little shifty. I didn't see anyone with her. Then Richard says, well, the letters changed when you went home. And Sam was like, wait a minute now. I was only going for a month. And as much as I don't want Sam to be Picky's father, guys, I'm over here like, Sam, a month is ample time to get someone pregnant, okay? You really only need a few minutes, if that. So you need to come a little harder, Sam. Come harder. Anyway, Richard feels like he has everything mapped out up until the day Picky was born. And for Richard, all roads lead to Sam. But as Sam tries to explain himself, a few security guys come in and tell him that he's needed by Victoria. And she can't wait. So Sam runs out and goes to Victoria, who's crying and saying, oh, they blame me for everything, these kids, right? Then she walks up to Sam and says, just hold me. Anyway, them crocodile tears dried up real quick because Victoria didn't waste no time hitting on Sam as usual. I mean, guys, everything just happened so fast, and Victoria starts to open up her dress and reveals the sexy matching lingerie. I was like, oh my gosh, guys. And once Sam said Victoria instead of ma'am like he always does, I was like, Sam, don't do it. Then he starts walking towards her, and I was like, Sam, back up, Sam, back the freak up. And if Sam could hear me, he probably was like, girl, I ain't backing up nowhere. I am backed up. So we about to get this going, all right? So he turned her around roughly and had her back it up instead, okay? So, guys, this is something that obviously is not a surprise to us, right? But I don't really know what to think about it in a way. Because it's like, although we saw it coming, I guess I didn't think it would happen this way. I honestly thought that Sam was going to fall for Victoria. And when they finally did have sex, it would have been more of like a lovemaking type session. Anyway, regardless, it's wrong, right? Of course, we're not going to deny that. Both of them are married, but we can see that Sam and Priscilla's marriage is probably not going to last, especially with the way things are going right now. I mean, Sam did seem like while he was having sex with Victoria that he was getting some frustrations out. I don't know, but it was kind of awkward too to see. But I just think that maybe with him being backed up, he's got problems at home. And now his friend is coming to him accusing him of being with his wife years ago. I don't know, guys. The only thing that I could say is that, because I really hope that this is not the case. And I know this theory has been going on for a long time. People think that Sam is the father. All right. I think that if Sam is the father, to me, the only way it would make sense is that Sam was so drunk because he was mourning the loss of his own father, right? That he was so drunk that he doesn't even remember sleeping with Nancy. Like, he doesn't even know that the situation happened. Because for me, I can't see Sam, being someone, and I've said this to you guys before, I don't see Sam as somebody that would harbor this secret for so many years and then be all up in this man's face smiling and acting like you're his best friend, and also, he's Barry's godfather. I just don't see it. Now, Nancy, listen, we got to call her like it is. She's pretty much trash. I'm sorry, because she knows who the father is. So she knows that if she had sex with Sam, she knows she had sex with Sam. She knows she had a kid with him, and she just hid it for years. And then she's smiling up in Priscilla's face like they're friends and all that. That is trash, okay? So Nancy don't got no excuse for being the way she's being. She's a whole snake. I'm sorry. Acting like you this good, perfect wife who takes care of your man, blah, blah, blah. No, you're a whole snake. And the thing is, look, you may have made a mistake years ago. And, everybody makes mistakes. But it's the fact that you didn't come clean about it until 25 years later. And in the meantime, you've been over here smiling in the face. Like, that ain't cool. And that's what makes you a lowlife. That's what makes you a scumbag, Nancy. Not the fact that you made a mistake. The fact that you've been smiling at people, harboring this freaking devastating secret. Like, come on now. Anyway, guys, I'm going to move off Nancy for right now. Next, we get to the last scene, and Don goes home to find Lilly still grinding on Bobby, and it just made no freaking sense that they were still having sex, okay, after all that time. Please, okay? Bobby didn't last that long in the airport bathroom, okay? So he shouldn't be lasting long now. Anyway, Don is there now because someone called him, okay, while he was in the Oval. So clearly Bobby was wrong about the security being lame because they knew that Bobby was up in his house. So here goes Don coming into the room. He slams the door. And then Bobby, who just happens to have a gun right next to him, which I guess would make sense given the circumstances, he raises his gun to Don and says, "Move and I'll blow your brains out." And that's how the episode ends, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. It was pretty entertaining to me, although there were still some things that annoyed me, but it's all good. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, take care of yourself and be blessed. Bye-bye.